Hey, Michigan Maniacs. This is a Michigan Maniac podcast, and this is your host, Adam Brewer. This is the reaction episode, Rutgers. It's more like have you ever seen the show Drunk History? Well, get ready, because this is as close to as drunk history as you're going to get. Triple overtime, stop it. If you're not drunk when you're doing this, I don't even know what to tell you. It's going to be fun, though. I'm still I'm still coherent, so it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun, I'm telling you that right now. All right? So let's get into this. Oh, but actually, let's do the housekeeping. Guys, you're going to enjoy this episode. I'm telling you that right now. I'm on all social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, where you're watching me right now. That's right. Michigan Maniac Podcast. Find it, love it, watch it. It's going to be the best thing ever. All right. Also, if you go to the Apple Podcasts or the Michigan Maniac fan page on the Facebook, leave a review. Now on Apple Podcasts, rate and review. And hit me up on the DM, and I will send you a sticker. I got brand new ones. Booyah! They're pretty cool. I'll be honest. I really love the way these things worked out. The background is clear. This is only white because of the paper. Booyah! So, rate and review. Only give me the stars you like. I mean, I don't care. I'm 2-star, 5-star, whatever. I know I'm a 5-star, so rate me whatever you want, but rate me the stars that I have earned. This is why you tune in for the reaction episode, because I'm going to be a little tipsy. All right. Wow, there's a lot to get into this bad boy. I mean, a lot to get into this game. Now, when I named my what was it, big game pregame, or one of the many tweets or whatever I do, the battle of the 1-3 Titans, right? Or whatever I said. It's true. This is one hell of a game. I mean, yeah, granted, it was Rutgers, and we should, to a certain extent, be super depressed that we went into triple overtime with Rutgers. Kind of a setback. But this is kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of thing. So there's a lot of good and there is a ton of bad in this. But I really do think that the bad can be shored up by one thing. One thing, because it can't get worse. I'll be honest. It cannot get worse. And that is, we need to fire Don Brown. 100%. He needs to go bye-bye. Get out of here. Dr. No Blitz. I mean, when our offense digs itself out of a 17-0 hole, and let's be honest, we haven't been able to dig ourselves out of many holes for a long time. When we do that, and our defense still allows Rutgers to go on, and I wrote this down because I thought it was ridiculous, a 16-play, 75-yard touchdown drive, then a successful two-point conversion, which was a quarterback sneak. Think about that. A quarterback sneak, which was blown up at the beginning of it. And they still tied the game. 16 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown with a two-point conversion to send it into overtime. Don Brown, in just that last drive, needed to be fired. He should get an Uber back to Ann Arbor, because he should not fly with the team. Should not even ride on the bus with the team. What are we doing by still employing this man to create like game plans for our defense? I mean, now before I do this, I want to truly express the love I have for Sean Nua. I love Sean Nua. I know his brother very well. Well, not very well, but I know his brother, Stallone. And I think Sean Nua as a defensive tackle has a lot of knowledge to give to these kids. So a lot of the blame still falls, whatever shortcomings Sean Nua has, falls on Don Brown, and it should. $2 million a year, or $1 million something a year, whatever it is. If there's $1 million after the number, high stakes. Falls on your head, Don Brown. You cannot allow. Oh, so I already talked about that, but the defensive line. Tell me if you did not see this. Reagan Upshaw pushing the offensive lineman back and then just holding on to him like they're at a high school dance. They're like, oh, are we dating? Are we friends? What are we? I mean, I don't want to stop holding on to you because I may love you. I don't know. But that's great for a high school dance. But when you're playing college football on the defensive line, you need to grab them, see where the play's going, chuck the little dude to the side, and go make the play. Numerous times, you could see that to where the defensive line was like, ha, 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 and they're just hanging out with the offensive linemen, just creating havoc in space. Well, guess what? How about this? Instead of creating havoc in space, how about you just toss the offensive lineman to the side and make the effing play? How about that? I mean, novel idea. I mean, I know it's a novel idea. It's crazy. Crazy. I mean, throw the offensive lineman to the side and then go make the play? Whoa, what is going on? Oh, and then Michael Barrett, newsflash. I hate to really burst your bubble, but you're not like an Olympic sprinter. You're not. It's not going to happen. And then you're just not. You're not the guy who is on the other side of the play and is now going to leave his guy when it's man-to-man coverage. Man-to-man coverage. Well, I guess if he looks like he's going to block, I should go chase down a guy that's 20 yards away from me. 20 yards away from me because I can get there in 10 seconds. Well, who knows? I mean, all plays last for over 4 or 5 minutes, apparently, to Michael Barrett. I mean, there's just so many dumb things I saw tonight on defense that just makes me hate Don Brown even more. Well, not hate. I massively dislike Don Brown. And the kids have given up on him on defense. I don't. What are we doing when Rutgers, just so you know, Rutgers, okay? Here we go. Here's some of the numbers. Verdral, their quarterback, 29 for 43, 381 yards passing. 381. 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Interception came at the end of the game. Regardless, still awesome. I'm glad we won. But 43 attempts, 381 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. The draw for Rutgers. They scored more points tonight than they had in the last 3 or 4 times they had faced Michigan. That's not a Don Brown problem? I don't know. Also, Pacheco, nothing much, really. I mean, 15 carries, 43 yards, 2.9 per carry. Big deal. Who cares? But once again, passing becomes a big effing problem because Don Brown is an awful, awful coach. And then you have Mike Zordich, who should be fired because, yeah, it's great when you have Jordan Lewis, professional football player. David Long, professional football player. At least he had Channing Stribling, who has messed around with professional football, the XFL, the AAF, whatever, Triple FAF, whatever the other leagues are. He's been in that too. I'm actually a Stribling fan, so. Um, but can't coach when he's got two young kids who don't know what the hell's going on. And when Thomas left, he must have been floundering like a turtle. So, why do we still have Zordich and Brown? I mean, you look at it. I mean, Jones, 7 for 127. That's 18.7 per catch. Melton, who got hurt but still came back in, 7 for 109. 15.6 average per catch. And then you got Cruikshank, who caught one of the most critical touchdowns for 7 for 70, one touchdown. Now tell me, could anybody just coach them to figure out how to be crappy? I mean, I'm sure we all could. Just be like, hey, listen, just look at them and then do nothing. I would assume that's what Mike Zordich and Don Brown are doing. They're like, hey, listen, you're on an island, go F yourself. And then Zordich is like, listen, yeah, I'm going to teach you something. You're not going to listen to it because obviously you don't listen to me. And then I hold no respect in your eyes because you're allowing Rutgers wide receivers. Let me repeat this. Rutgers wide receivers to average 18.7 yards per catch, 15.6 yards per catch. And then on the final drive, the guy to be in between, 3 Wolverines and still catch not the game time because they needed the 2-point conversion, but still catch a touchdown that narrowed it down to a 2-point conversion. That's what we're doing. And now I know people are going to say, but Adam, we have had the injury bug, and that is absolutely true. I 100% think that is the only reason why Don Brown will keep his job. Because he can make a solid argument saying, listen, I don't have Kwity Paye, I don't have Aiden Hutchinson, Cam McGrone went down, and then even Brad Hawkins went down. What do you expect from me when 4 of my 11 starters have gone down? 4. And just not regular 4 starters. 2 out of the 4 are considered to be NFL draft picks, Paye and Hutchinson. It's a pretty good argument. I get it. That's a pretty good argument. At some point, you should be like, hey, we have had enough injuries to screw us up. And then, but here's the counter argument. Flip that to the offense. Oh, welcome, Cade McNamara, the savior of Michigan football, maybe. Now, granted, I know it is too soon. It is still Rutgers, sure. And yes, he had one very successful drive against Wisconsin, and then Harbaugh and Gaddis totally butt-fucked that into non-existence when they decided to rush a punt when it was 4th and 5. And then that blew all up in their face, which they continue to do and make bad play calls. But still, let's look at the offense. And you can say, listen, Adam, how are we even scoring points as an offense? Well, for the first half, you're absolutely right. With Joe Milton, we couldn't score a damn thing. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. And then you're starting to say, well, we got what? Everyone on the offensive line, brand new, basically. I mean, you look at the offensive line from last season to the offensive line to this game, none of them played one game. Not one. Mayfield out. Ryan Hayes out. Stuber was hurt last year, but now is playing right tackle. We have 3 freshman offensive linemen, including the center position, which, as we all know, is the quarterback of the offensive line. We are dealing with so many things that you could be like, if we even scored 14 points, we should be considered lucky when you look at how decimated we are by injury. Hayes, Mayfield, and opt-outs. Nico Collins. I mean, on the offensive side, Vistardis, all hurt. I mean, we're hurt. We have been devastated by injuries on both sides of the ball. At least 10 key injuries on total as a team. But yet, when we put the man, Cade McNamara, finally in the game, it was like it was really amazing to watch a team light up. It was amazing to watch them play harder. It was amazing to watch an offense that was stagnant against Wisconsin. Well, non-existent against Wisconsin, stagnant against Indiana, and struggling against Michigan State, right? But you put the right guy in there, and then all of a sudden, everything starts lighting up. I mean, Eric All, a.k.a. Eric 40 Hands, is catching everything that's thrown to him. Everything. He only had 4 passes thrown to him tonight. Well, 5. But the 5th one, he caught, and then he got hit. I mean, he got hit. So to have all of a sudden this guy show up, and then all of a sudden all these wide receivers making plays, catching balls, you've got to be like, was it really the coordinator's job? You have got to say tonight that Josh Gaddis is saying, thank you, Cade McNamara, because everyone, including myself, had been calling for Harbaugh and Gaddis's head, because this offense looked like dookie, looked like complete turds just right on the field. But let's look at what they did tonight, right? It's actually kind of impressive. So everybody's like, hey, listen, we need to get down to a rotation where we really feature somebody. Finally, we did it. Go figure, when you actually put together drives more than 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and you actually put together 10 play drives, 15 play drives, 20 play drives. I don't know if these are any of those, but I'm just saying overall, we had numerous play drives other than just 3 and out with Cade McNamara. And shocking, you can actually get running backs to get the carries and start doing things that they need to do. As in proof, now granted, all this is because it's Rutgers. I understand. I am fully aware that we played one of the worst teams in the Big Ten East, and we played them to a third overtime just to win the game. I get that. I'm not trying to say that we're going to win anything, like any type of awards, that we're back, baby, we're back. I'm not saying any of that. But it's an improvement. Now, Haskins, finally, 25 carries. Well, we've all been asking for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. But you know how that happens? Because Cade McNamara is able to lead our team on numerous drives over 3 and out. 3 and out. You can have numerous 3 and outs and wonder, well, why can't we run the ball? Well, when you're only doing about 20 plays a game, good luck. You're not going to have a whole lot going on. That's just the way that shit goes. I hate to tell you that, but that's just how it is. Cade is immediate. I've never seen... I am right at this point in time trying to hold back my excitement for Cade McNamara. I really am. You saw it in that Wisconsin game. He went, 4 for 4, touchdown, 2-point conversion, and you're like, holy crap. Wow. And you're like, well, maybe that was just because it was garbage time with Wisconsin and blah, blah, right? But he comes in down 17-0 and scores 48 straight points, man. 48 straight to help us win this game. Oh my God. Tell me, as a Michigan fan, when you saw him back there, did you not feel like he was going to be able to perform and be able to make every throw possible. Like he assessed the field, he knew the play, he knew who he needed to hit, and he put the ball exactly where they needed to catch it without tearing their hands from their arms. Like, instead of shooting a bazooka right at their head, he actually threw the ball with touch. Go figure. Go figure when you actually throw the ball with touch and you don't panic. And let's face it, Cade was under pressure because our offensive line was 100% new. And he still made it look good. I mean, with a brand new offensive line, he was still able to throw. He went 27 for 36, 260, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. What? And then with that, being able to command the offense, move the ball, you still got Haskins for 25 for 109 and a touchdown. I mean, Cornelius Johnson, 4 for 87. By the way, average of 21.8 per catch. 2 touchdowns. Giles Jackson, I mean, thank God he woke up and finally scored something on the special teams, which was beautiful. I mean, oh, so beautiful. And then Don Brown proved why he can't coach defense anymore. Go to Miami, Don Brown. Go to whatever warm Florida city you want to go to and retire. Wear the shorts up over your belly button. I mean, literally, wear them like right here to where it looks like, you got a diaper on. Whatever it is, just retire, bro. You've had a great career. I mean, you came in and changed some great things for us. We looked good for a lot of years with you. I'm all 3 years, fine. But still, you did something. Just get the hell out of Michigan. Literally, Don Brown, get the F out of here. Get the F out of Michigan. Because as soon as we run back a 95-yard touchdown on a kickoff return, our defense, Daxton Hill, who's, in my eyes, has been the defensive MVP this whole season, is flat-footed when he never missed. I don't know, dude. When I think of Don Brown, I get very frustrated because it's clear the game has passed him by. And it's clear that the defensive players don't give 2 shits about the old man. They just do not. Because you don't allow Rutgers to go 16 plays, 75 yards, in over 4 minutes, score a touchdown where there's 4 of you around that dude, and then on the 2-point conversion, which you blow up, by the way, and you allow the quarterback to push the pile into the end zone for the 2-point tying conversion. Now, granted, special teams kind of screwed us tonight, because if Nordine hits just one out of the 2 in regulation, we don't go to overtime. Just 1. And I get the second snap was high, and that's true. I don't blame him for that one. But the first one, there's no excuse. And then the one in overtime, no excuse. That's your job. Your job is to get that little pigskin effing ball to curve wherever you want it to curve. If you want it to do English, if you want it to high-five you on the way over the goalpost. That's your job. That's your job. And you've got to do it. So, not impressed with the special teams. Not impressed with the defense. But I truly believe that our offense has been fixed. I really do. I think now we have a chance to beat Maryland. I think we have the chance next week to beat Penn State. We're going to get blown out by Ohio State. But I got a little bit to say about Ohio State coming up here. But, I mean, if we get a defensive coordinator that can throw something new at a team, that maybe they just can't just chuck it up and then have, 2 players go over 100 yards receiving that play for Rutgers. Their quarterback over 381 yards, passing at Rutgers. If that doesn't tell you that Jim Harbaugh should just fire Don Brown immediately, I don't know what else to tell you. I know they're going to be super high because we won this game, but still, Don Brown needs to be fired. There's no other excuse. There's no other proof, but the draw threw for 381 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. 2 wide receivers for Rutgers caught for over 100 yards each. Two. This is a team we have blown out by, 40 points? Almost, the last 5 years we've been with Harbaugh? 3 years, 4 years, whatever. Look it up. I didn't. Because it's been a joke. This has been one of the only guaranteed wins. We can always look at the schedule and be like, oh yeah, that's a win. And that's an impressive win. What are we doing? Don Brown proved tonight he shouldn't even make it on the team bus to the airport to even get on the team plane to come home. He should Uber his stupid old ass back home, which he'll have to pay for. Actually, hit me up, Don Brown. If you get fired tonight, I will pay for your Uber. I make enough money to pay for your Uber. Not much more. Don't look for a snack or open those free waters in there, you stupid bitch. Because I ain't paying for that either. I know I said free waters, but still give me a break. I had plenty of conversations throughout the game with all sorts of Michigan fans. And one of them is an OG Michigan maniac. But weirdly enough, he is a Buckeye fan. Crazy, right? Timmy, thank you for being a Michigan maniac while being Satan's fan base or whatever. Granted, I know they're not Satan, but still. He mentioned something. He goes, could you imagine that your defense is as bad as it is played Indiana better than what Ohio State played them today? And I was like, there's no way that's possible. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, maybe he's got a fucking point. Maybe Timmy's got a point. So I started looking up. And you can make an argument. I mean, Penix Jr. against Michigan went 30 for 50, 342, 3 touchdowns. Pretty decent. But then again, we have Don Brown, and he's a blind man trying to coach defense. Then we have Penix up against Ohio State. 22 for 51, 491, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I don't know about you, but that sounds like we did a much better job, which is shocking to me that we have 2 of the worst corner covers in the history of college football, probably. And they did a much better job than what Ohio State did today. That's weird. Scott, they did much better on the run than we did. Scott only had 6 yards rushing on 7 attempts. We let Scott rush for 24 times, 97 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He dominated us on that. And that goes to Don Brown and Sean Nua. Your defensive line sucks penis. I don't know what else to tell you. But it really does. It's like you grab it, and I'm only saying from what I've seen on the field, and then they jam it into the back of their neck and then their eyes water. I don't know. I guess that's what happens. I've never seen it happen. I don't watch porn. But still, that's what happens. I mean, even Freifogel, we held him to 7 for 142 and 1 touchdown. That's Vincent Gray and Jamon Green, who are basically seeing impaired cornerbacks. The worst in the Big Ten. But yet, Ohio State, Freifogel went for 7 for 218 and 3 touchdowns. 2 for 18. We did a much better job. Shocking. So if we just had better quarterback play for Michigan State, for Indiana, and for Wisconsin, what could our record be right now? What could it be? It proves that are coaching, they're blind. They are absolutely blind, and I know why. Because Harbaugh fell in love with Joe Milton because he looked at Joe Milton as Andrew Luck 2.0. Because he has all the tools. He can run, he can throw hard, he can throw far, he's a smart kid, he's engaging, he's all these things. But when the chips are stacked against Joe Milton crumbles. Complete opposite from what they told us. And I jumped face first onto the Joe Milton bandwagon. 100%, I was all about him. I still think he can be great. I do. Maybe not at Michigan, because all hail Cade McNamara. And Harbaugh, if you put Joe Milton in next week's game to start, your whole team should mutiny and throw you right out of the stadium. There's no way that Joe Milton should ever start for Michigan football ever again. Now, if he transfers, God bless him. I wish he finds a school that will utilize everything he can do. And I hope that he's taken whatever lessons he's learned in this 4 or 5 game season so far and add it to his repertoire and then get better at some of the things that he needs to get better at. I really do. I hope the best for Joe Milton because I really like Joe Milton. But I never want to see him play for Michigan football again. We have our guy now, Cade McNamara. I will grow, lose, win, whatever we need to do, but this is the kid I want to go with because he looks phenomenal. Even though guys like Eubanks refuse to block. You know, he catches a lot. I'll give it to Eubanks. He catches quite a bit. But when you see look at all those big plays they busted up right at the line of scrimmage. Eubanks didn't block. Didn't care to block. Could care less to block. And now here's some of the game notes I took as I was watching it. Obviously Milton sucks. I wrote that down. Why we were having such trouble with the run. And I was like, well, this is probably going to be a thing. And I'm sure it will be because we're playing Rutgers. So the run defense is going to look better than what it was or than what it is because we're playing Rutgers. Just like when we were playing Minnesota. Awful defense makes our offensive line looks good. But as we all know, when you're an offensive lineman, pass blocking is way easier than run blocking. So from here on out, when maybe, I don't even know when we're going to see this again. Penn State's not very good. Maryland's good but not great, so we can beat them. Just out of pure talent level, we can beat them. I don't know, though. I mean, that could definitely be a loss. And then we're going to lose to Ohio State. So, I don't know. It's just that I don't expect our running game to be dominant yet, especially when we have so many injuries. I mean, when you're out, your two starting tackles. One is a for sure lock to go to the NFL. Should we be shocked that our running game suffers? But then we get McNamara in, and then all of a sudden he's making all these plays in the passing game, which opens up now the running game. So this whole game is a big mind F to me because you're like, as soon as you think, okay, well, this team is doing this, and this is who we are, and this is all we're ever going to be, and then somebody comes in, and then you're like, wow, maybe Gaddis wasn't a horrible play caller. Maybe Milton just didn't see the open guy. Maybe Milton didn't understand what we were trying to do offensively. And then when you go 3 and out, and then you're like, oh, okay. Well, now we're having 15 to 20 play drives instead of 7 play drives. So now you can introduce the running game more than what you have been. And then they actually stuck to a rotation. They actually had more Charbonnet and more Haskins, obviously, he went 25 for 109 or something like that tonight. I mean, it's impressive. We actually did something tonight. I couldn't believe, offensively, I was super excited about what we looked like in the second half. Defensively, fire Don Brown. Get him out of the building. I know I've said this plenty of times. I'm just trying to see what's next. But Just literally get him out, because we effectively held Indiana in check compared to what they did to Ohio State. I mean, look at what Justin Fields did against Indiana. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you both stats. So, Fields went 18 for 30, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Joe Milton, 18 for 34, pretty close. 344, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They flipped them. If we had a better defense, you can't tell me we couldn't have beat Indiana. If Don Brown had any clue how to fucking coach defense, you can't tell me we couldn't have stopped Indiana. And if Cade McNamara played against Indiana, there's a chance he could have had over 450 yards passing. If Joe Milton, who clearly panics, could throw for 344, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, what do you think Cade McNamara could have done? I mean, what? So, maybe we aren't, I mean, we're young. And remember, I told you, I am willing to forgive youth and inexperience if we lose the game, as long as it looks like we're playing hard, right? And I'll be honest, when we missed that field goal in overtime, I was ready. Absolutely ready. I had the Mandalorian put on my phone. I was ready to cast it to my TV and be like, yeah, we lost, whatever. And then come up with some type of formulation how I was going to do this podcast. I was ready to do it. And then thank God they missed it. But I'm just saying, what could that's where this coaching thing is way more important than the players. Did you see when Cade McNamara came in? It was like he was a spark plug to the whole team. The defense seemed more lively. The offense definitely seemed more lively. Just because the defense seemed more lively didn't mean they were making any more plays. They just seemed to be more awake instead of just like zombie walking around the whole field. So definitely Don Brown's got to go. But, I mean, maybe we beat, for sure we beat Michigan State if Cade McNamara plays. We beat Michigan State. We have a pretty good chance to beat Indiana if Cade McNamara plays. I really do believe that. Wisconsin, I don't even know what to think that was. That was a whole steaming pile of shit. So I don't know what to think about that. So yeah, I think the next 2 weeks are very winnable for us. I think we're gonna do it. I can't wait to see what we do with it. I'm hopeful. And it's weird to be hopeful in this season because we've looked like dog shit the whole season except for game 1. I think that I've been thinking about this actually, and it just hit me. Milton looked good in game 1, right? Because we had months to prepare, not even months. We had a couple weeks to prepare for Minnesota, right? With all the schedule changes and all that. So you get him set up to think about Minnesota, get ready of all the things you're going to see from Minnesota and get him ready to go. And then tonight, he even looked good in the first drive until Cornelius Johnson fumbled the ball. But he looked good. So it's like, as long as he is scripted with plays that he knows exactly who he needs to throw to and exactly what plays next and all this, he can be very good. But when things start getting all jumbly and the gameplay starts going, he loses it. So I think he can be a good quarterback later. But I'm all in on Cade McNamara. This is my dude. I can't wait to see what he does. I'm excited. I definitely think that we can beat Penn State next week. I think we can beat Maryland. I really do. That one's going to be scary, though, because, let's face it, Vincent Gray and Jamon Green still aren't good. Don Brown will still be our defensive coordinator. So there's a very good possibility Maryland puts about 500 yards passing on us. I'm not even kidding. It's possible. Tua's little brother, it's possible for that kid to put 500 on us. I'm not kidding. And then we'll lose to Ohio State. And who God knows what we'll do. I mean, Because now I believe we have an offense to compete. But as long as Don Brown's around, we don't have a defense to compete. And as we all know, football is a yin and yang. You have to have good on both to win it all, especially when you play a dominant team like Ohio State. So, but hey, fuck it. Who cares, right? We won tonight. It's a bright spot in a dingy, awful year. We finally found our guy, so we get to see what our offense can look like. Because, I mean, if you really look at it, look at Northwestern. They had Peyton Ramsey transfer from, as we all know, Indiana, because we played him twice in the last 2 years at Indiana. Comes in, he's not a great quarterback, but he's good. He's better than anybody they had before. And look how well Northwestern's doing, right? Ohio State, Justin Fields, look how good they're doing. Michael Penix, look how good Indiana's doing. And then you can directly look at bad teams. Even Maryland, Tua's little brother. Look how good he's doing. And then look at all the bad teams, right? Penn State, 0-4, 0-5. Hasn't happened ever. Bad quarterback play. Michigan, up until the second quarter or late second quarter of this game. Bad quarterback play. Bad team. Illinois, Brandon Peters hurt. Awful play. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are getting bad quarterback play that are looking exactly that it's like the correlation. But that was just a little add-on. I don't know. I'm feeling it. A little drinky. It was a great game. Come on, give me a break. But dude, guys, it is fantastic to be a Michigan Wolverine right now. Right now. For the moment. And we should revel in it, right? Because let's face it, it's been a kick to the nuts on how bad it's been for 3 weeks in a row. So when you get a chance, even if it's a triple overtime win against Rutgers, we should still enjoy it. Because we found our dude. Now maybe Cade McNamara comes out next week and throws 18 interceptions. I doubt it. But we got a guy that looks like he understands the offense. Wow. Love it. I effing love it. And I think that can change a program for us offensively. Get rid of Don Brown or we're always going to struggle defensively, but whatever. But yeah, guys. Check me out on all social media. Obviously, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Go to Apple Podcasts, rate and review. Give me the stars that I deserve. I believe I'm a 5-star recruit. But still, hey, I'm trying to be the best independent Michigan podcast there is. And I'm trying to do the best I can to make you laugh, to give you some type of information. I might not be the most detail-oriented guy, but I'm going to make you laugh. I want to make you enjoy this time that you spend with me. So let's make me number one, right? I've got a sticker for you guys. If you support me, I got a sticker for you. Even if you guys start following me. All the guys, I just picked up 3 or 4 guys tonight that are following me. If you guys DM me on Twitter, send me your names, your addresses, I'll send you a sticker. Anybody else, I don't care. I want to get back to where I was. I want to even get higher than that. And I just want us all to enjoy Michigan football. So, and we can get back to that if we just fired Don Brown. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I mean, it means a lot to me. Thank you. Plus, I get a little emotional when I am, you know what I mean. It is great for tonight to be a Michigan Wolverine. And always and forever, guys, go blue.